I wanted to write this article for the Post talking about Barack Obama's choice of words when he started lecturing Black men while at the Pittsburgh Harris campaign's office. And the reason I wanted to respond to what he said is because his words were essentially stating that the reason for some Black men's hesitancy for voting for Kamala Harris had more to do with her being a woman and the prospect of a woman being in charge of the country. And what was very poignant about his response was how he was going to tell some hard truths. Essentially, the truth to him is that Black men have a misogyny problem, that you just can't stand the idea of women leading anything. Not to mention that Black men like myself grew up in a household where Black women led. And the idea that the only reason why someone would have a problem voting for Kamala Harris has more to do with what's between her legs than what's between her ears. It couldn't possibly be that she was considered the border czar. She told the migrants to do not come, and yet they came, and the Biden administration did nothing. It couldn't possibly be that her, amongst other Democrats, were fully behind COVID restrictions and didn't care about the repercussions of lockdowns, yet allowing big corporations to remain open. And they called you a murderer if you wanted to go back to work. They didn't care about the decimation of these particular policies, of forcing closures, of removing people from jobs because they refused to get a vaccine. They didn't care about these things. And there was one particular party that was behind it. And she represents Joe Biden. She can try to distance herself, but even petty Joe Biden brings her back in and says, she was right there with me. So Kamala Harris has the stain of the Joe Biden administration on her, and she can't pretend that she has nothing to do with it. I can go on and on about all these different reasons as to why I'm choosing not to vote for her, and it has nothing to do with her being a woman. Matter of fact, being a woman is not even on my list as to why you should not vote for her. She does a really good job of creating a list for us for why we should choose otherwise. And so at the end of the day, I believe Black people, Black men, Black women, all Americans have the right to choose whoever the hell they want for president. And I shouldn't be restricted because I look a certain way or I'm of a particular culture to choose one particular party or one particular candidate over the other. And the idea that multimillionaire Barack Obama gets to come and lecture the working class Black man and tell them to do the right thing as he heads back on a private jet to Martha's Vineyard, I have something aesthetically wrong with that. I feel like the Democratic Party is a party of the elite, and that includes the Black elite, and they have zero problem lecturing Black people to tell them to do what they're supposed to do. Whereas other demographics are told, what can we do to serve you and get your vote? We are expected to vote Democrat for no reason, and we get crumbs for it. And when we ask questions about the crumbs that we're fed, we're told we're not doing the right thing. So, yeah, I have a major problem with the former president of the United States coming and lecturing Americans of a particular demographic and shaming them for deciding, I don't know, should I vote for the person who was part of our demise, or should I vote for the person who, I don't know, the economy was at least halfway decent when he was in office?